This video I have explained what is inheritance. Now in this video I would like to explain um, different types of inheritance. So before I proceed, I would like to just have a quick review of what is inheritance. So children, inheritance is basically it is the mechanism in which there are two objects and one object acquires all the properties and behaviors of a parent object. Or we can say there are two classes A and B, and class B inherits the features of class A. So it is an important part of object-oriented programming system. And the idea behind inheritance in Java is that you can create new classes and that are built upon existing classes. So when you inherit from an existing class, you can reuse methods and fields of the parent class. And moreover, you can add new methods and fields in your current class also. So inheritance represents the is a relationship, which is also known as a parent-child relationship. So children, for example, here I have a class, public class, which is derived, and before that, I would like to just show you. I would like to just create a class which is base, and it is having some of its features, like suppose it is having a variable name, uh, or I can say first name, and here base. This is the constructor of the base class, and here you can write first name is equals to first, and this is what the display function, and in this display function I simply wanted to print the first name along with one space. I don't want to change the line. So this is the base class, children. This selected portion represents the base class, and now here this is the derived class. So how to inherit the features of the base class? So features of the base class you can inherit with the help of extends keywords, and here you need to specify the name of the base class, and after that now you have to just define few variable if you want to uh, declare. So I have declared one more variable which is last name, and now this is the constructor, and here within that I am having two parameters. So children, this first parameter belongs to the first name of the base class. So here we need to pass with the help of this super keyword. So super keyword, what it does, with the help of this super keyword we can invoke the constructor of the base class, which is this one. So, and one more thing, it must be the very first statement in the constructor of the derived class. And after that, what to do is last name is equals to second. Okay. Now, so this is how we have just invoke the constructor of the base class with the help of this, and at the same time I have initialized the instance variable of the derived class also. And after that, what to do, suppose I'm just defining this display function, and here children, one thing which I explained in the previous video also, two functions which have the same name display here. One is the part of the base class and another is the part of the derived class. So actually what happens, this function overrides the function of the base class. So here if I'm just writing that last name, and here this is the main method, and what you need to do is you need to just create the object of the derived class within this function. main method. Within the main method, you need to just create the object of the derived class. So that is derived obj new derived, and here I am passing two methods. Suppose I am passing two parameters, and here the parameters are two parameters. Kishan Singh I am passing, and here just I am just going to call this function display. Now see what happens. Here on the screen you will see that the output is only Singh, and what is missing is Kishan is missing. The first name is missing. Okay. And one more thing I would like to tell you, where this code goes. Actually, this is the calling of the constructor of the derived class. So immediately after the execution of this part, the control reaches from here, it jumps at this place where this parameter will get stored in this variable first, and this parameter Singh will get stored in this variable second. So this constructor of the derived class starts executing, and when this super first is there, when this statement executes, what happens? Control immediately jumps at the constructor of the base class, and the value first passes within this variable first, and from here it moves to the variable first name. And after that what happens, the control comes back. After doing this, control comes back at this point, storing this variable's value in this last name variable. And after this what happens, control comes again in the main method for executing the rest part of the code. So, and always remember that execution of the Java program starts from the main and it ends within the main method. So this is what it happens. And now after that what happens, when we are calling this display, so immediately control moves to this display. But since this function is overriding the display function of the base class, so now you cannot call directly the display function within the main method, because since this function display has overrides the display of the base class. So now you cannot access that display of the base class within the main method directly. Now how to execute then? So for that we have another method which is super. Super basically represents here the base class, and super dot display. So if you write super dot display, you will see that first name will get displayed here, because in the body of this function of the base class we have displayed first name. So first name will get displayed here and last name will get displayed here. So this is how the mechanism of inheritance work. Now you can see that the output is Kishan Singh here on the screen. Okay, one thing I would like to just tell you, here you can input the values also. Uh, that is, you need to declare the scanner class here, new scanner system.in, and here you have a variable first and you have a variable second. And now what to do, enter first name, and that is first is ss dot next line, and here enter second name, and that is second is ss dot next line. So now what we need to do is we need to pass that is first, and here that is second, that is second. So now how it works, you need to, in the main method you need to input. Suppose you have entered Kishan and here you have entered Singh. Now you see that the output is Kishan Singh. So this is how, children, it works. One thing I would like to demonstrate, that when this constructor is invoked, so control immediately jumps within this part, which is I am I am inside the base class. I am inside the base class, and here uh, I cannot write any message even before this super first this statement. So I need to write here. I can write here only. So the message is I am inside derived class constructor. Yes. So now see what happens. So children, the first name is suppose Anubhav, and here Tripathi. Second last name is so here you can see that initially what happens, initially when I passed that this message Anubhav and last name Tripathi, you see that I am in the base class. So why this message is coming? Just because when this constructor is invoked, immediately control is sent to the constructor of the base class, displaying this message that I am in the base class, and after that this variable is initialized. Okay, and then it returns back at this place where the derived class is constructor is, and after that you can see that this message has been displayed, and after that this last name is initialized. So this is how it works. So children, it is not second name, actually it is last name. Okay, so this is a simple example of inheritance. So children, if we focus on the types of inheritance, you will see that this is single level inheritance, in which there is a class A which is being inherited by the class B. So this is single level inheritance, and this example was explaining the same, where there is a class A which was being inherited by another class. So it is a single level inheritance. You can see some features and behavior of the base class was being inherited by the derived class, and at the same time we have added some more features to it. So this was the perfect example of single level inheritance. Okay. Now another is, children, multi-level inheritance. So you can see that here class B inherits the features of the base class, and at the same time it was being inherited by another class which is C. So finally the main method will be the part of this C class. And so let us see this example also. So here that is derived. Okay, so here I would like to create one more. I'm just going to create a class which is third class, and here what to do, children, I need to make two more classes here, class first, and here this is the variable num, and here it is the constructor of that. So I needed that here n is equals to a. So suppose this class, the specification of this class is over, and now another class which is second, and which is going to extend the features of the first. And here what to do, we have another variable which is n1, and here you can see that second int uh, a comma int b, and here what is that, super a, and n1 is equals to b. So what is happening, when the constructor of the second class is invoked, one of the value it is passing to the constructor of the base class. So this a is passed and will get initialized in this variable n, and further this b will get initialized in this variable n1. Okay, but since it is multi-level inheritance, so we need to define the specifications of the third class also. So here what I need to do is extends second, and now here what happens, I need to define another variable which is n2. Now what to do? This is the constructor of the third class with three values, int a comma, int b comma, int c, and here what to do is super a comma b. I am passing these two values here because these two values belongs to the constructor of the this second class, and further one of the value will be passed to the base class, which is the first class. So here and after that this n2 will be c, and here one of the method I'm just going to display, call this function which is one of the method which is display, in order to print first value is n, and here the second value is n1, and here the third value is n2, and here suppose I'm just want to just call a function calculate, and here this is the function uh, which is int calculate, and here it is returning the sum of these three. And now in the main method what I need to do is, in the main method I need to create the object of the third class, because finally everything has been inherited within the third class. So here within the main method I need to create the object of the third class, which is third obj new third, and passing 10 comma 20 comma 30, 10 comma 20 comma 30, and here what I need to do is I need to call this function display. Now see what happens. Finally you will get that you will see that I have not displayed, sorry children, here what I have done, I have not displayed the sum total. So that is total, which is total is this sum. Now what is, see how it works. You can see that the first number is 10, second number is 20, and third number is 30, and the sum total is 60. So children, this is the perfect example of multi-level inheritance. You can see that this is the very first class which is being inherited by the second class, and further the third class is inheriting the features of the second class. And here within the main method I am creating the object of the third class, passing these three values. This value, this very first value belongs to the first class, this value belongs to the second class, and this value belongs to the n2 variable of the third class. So this is how you can implement multi-level inheritance. Okay, now children, one more inheritance is which is hierarchical. This is the inheritance in which you can see there is a class which is being inherited by two different classes. So this time I'm not going to run the program, but I would like to show how in Java you can implement this. So children, actually this is the class first and second. This is the class first and second, and suppose you extends first, and this is the class third which extends first again, and suppose this main method is also not here. So the basic structure I would like to tell you, this time only the basic structure, because in board examination also this hierarchical this inheritance will not be asked. So only the basic structure will be. So You can see that this is the class second which is inheriting class first, and another class third also inheriting class first. So such type of inheritance is known as hierarchical. Now one more inheritance is there. One more inheritance which is multiple inheritance, in which there are two classes A and B, and these two classes are being inherited by the third class. But children, remember that Java does not support multiple inheritance. Java does not support multiple inheritance. And one more inheritance is which is hybrid. In hybrid inheritance, you can see that this is hierarchical. This up to here it is hierarchical, and here it is and when the two base classes are being inherited by the third class, which is multiple inheritance. So as I told you that Java doesn't support multiple, so this is not applicable. So these two inheritances, hybrid and multiple, Java doesn't support. But in your examination, uh, in board examination, the definition of multiple and hybrid can be asked in the paper. So you just, if such questions are there, you, if you are, even if you make the if you just give the example of that, then also it is much sufficient for you people. So I hope in this video you have got the basic idea of uh, different types of inheritances in Java. So I hope you have enjoyed this video.